Hello traders, and welcome to a new video on 3 custom stop loss indicators that you can add to your arsenal. I swear I look like I'm 5 years younger after I shave. I just have to throw that out there. I think the last video I did I had some decent facial hair, and now I'm like a baby again. But I'm a baby who's talking about stop loss theory, so let's get into that. So the first one that I want to talk about is linear trailing stop. Let's go show what that one is. Now the benefit of this one, the one that I like, is it identifies the trend and then it tells you where to place your stop loss. Now you may notice that blue is stop loss for longs, red is stop loss for shorts. Now it doesn't always, it never is going to report both a blue and a red stop loss because it picks one direction and then tells you where to place your stop. So in this downtrend that began here, it never shows us where to place a stop for a long position because it's not advising you to take a long position. The only time it actually, does do that is it recommends a stop right here, as you can see at 82.95.8. I'm reading that number right here, guys. It says 82.95.8, and luckily, actually, I think that this went down to, what did price go down to? Price went down to a low of 8,300. So that would have been a near perfect stop loss, actually, just by this indicator. Wow, yeah, that would have been great if you had placed your long stop loss there. And then it does it again here. This one definitely would have been triggered, as you can see here. But what it does is it places stop loss, and then after this price action actually rebalanced itself and said, this indicator said, hey, originally you should put your stop loss at 81.67.2. And then it was like, all right, you should start to trail it. But then eventually it reset after this price action here. And right before the down move occurs, it tells us to place your stop loss at 8274.4. So this would have lowered your loss had you actually followed exactly what this indicator is telling you to do. And then you can see it flips red because it's saying you should probably short and place your stop loss here. And it doesn't look like that trailing stop loss was hit until here, as you can see. So that would have been really good if you had just taken this, if you had shorted this, held, and just trailed your stop loss, and you get out here. You go from, I don't know, shorting like here-ish to there. That would have been nice. And you can see it keeps doing it there. So the benefit of this one that I really like is that it picks a direction, and then it tells you whether, long or short, which one's stop loss. It works in different time frames as well. This is not just a 1 hour thing. But if you're going on the 1 hour, you may want to change these to much smaller values because then it's, it just reports something like this that's just advocating for a short and for a stop loss here. And if you go in the 1 minute, you may need to make your values a little bit different as well, as you can see here. Because on the 1 minute time frame, this stop loss indicator is really just all over the place. That's why I'm focusing primarily on the 5 minute. Now we're going to look at the Chand Kroll stop. You can go look up what this means, the Chand Kroll stop. It's based on directional movement. And let's go zoom in and take a look. So you can see here, let me just go to style, and you can see for the different kinds of stop losses, green for long stop losses and red for short stop losses. I found that this indicator is likely better for scalpers, traders who may be more comfortable putting their stop losses closer to price action, rather than traders who want to put their stop losses farther away from price action. Let's go see how this performance would have done. Very tight stop losses, let's say we short here. Yeah, you can see this one would have worked pretty well. But I do have to say, of this indicator, I don't know a lot about it. I looked it up to find out more about the Chand Kroll stop, but I don't think that there's a lot of resources out there on it. That's just from the research that I did. So I am a little bit skeptical on this one because I don't exactly know what goes into it. But if you're interested in using this one, I highly recommend you look up the source code. I don't think they're going to give the source code here. Oh, they do. Yeah, look at the source code here and you can just kind of see how that works. Before you use any of these, you should always be looking at the code. Now the final one I want to look at is really one of my favorites of the three, which is trend stop. And this is based on the Ishimoku cloud. So you can see the Tenkan Sen is here. And these are my values. So what we have here is in blue is the Tenkan Sen. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. That's part of the Ishimoku cloud. And the green is where you place your stop loss. Again, this identifies the trend and then tells you whether to place a long stop loss or a short stop loss, kind of like what this first one does. It's not going to tell you stop loss for a long and a stop loss for a short. It's just going to pick one based on how price is trending. If we look at the performance of this one here, this one, not really looking too hot there. But if we look at beginning at around here, you can see stop loss placed here. This some comfort there. This one looks really nice. It had advocated to short in this downtrend. Not it. It hadn't advocated to short, but it had advocated to place a stop loss around here, as you can see, as price was going down. And this one would have held pretty well, actually, I think. And again, if you ever want to read the values, you can read them right here. As you can see, this says 8207.3. What's the high of this? Did this actually touch the candle? Can't tell. Oh my God, no, it actually didn't. So the high here is 8207, you can read right there, right? But this stop loss indicator had said 8207.3. 0.3 above where your stop loss would have been. I know you on BitMEX you can only do 8207.5 for a stop, or 80, basically ending in a 0 or in a 0.5, but that's kind of funny that it had been that level there. You can see that there. Of the three, of these, there's a lot of other ones that I found as well. There's also a volatility stop loss indicator, but I didn't find that one to be as helpful. But I have to say, of the three, my favorite is probably going to be the linear trailing stop. And we can go look at the source code here. I think it's a lot more in depth than the others, as you can see here. And the beauty of Tradingview indicators with this is what you can do is, let's say that you are a decent coder or you know how to use Pine. What you can do is you can take one of these indicators. You can then go into the source code, change it to make it whatever you want it to be. Not only that, but if you can also use this with 3 commas or with any other kind of trading bot that looks at Tradingview indicators and makes decisions based on that, you could use this with 3 commas or auto view or services like that. So there's really a lot of ways you can play around with this, or you could even be inspired to take elements of this and then create your own type of stop loss indicator script. And if you do, share it with me, and I might just share it with the rest of the audience. Again, this has just been a really quick video on me finding my three favorite stop loss indicators. I would say the Chan curl stop is probably third, and trend stop is a close second, and this one that you're looking at here is probably my favorite of these three, if I had to pick favorites. Again, none of this is financial advice, especially because we're talking about stop losses, which very much the placement of has to do with financial advice, but this is just an indicator that you can use to help you. And do not be afraid to change around the settings by double-clicking and then changing around those settings here, as you can see. All right, this has been a short video. I hope that this was helpful for showing some of the stop loss indicators that you can use. And if it was, then you can private message me, or you can click one of the links in the description below to pick up one of my guides or to contact me over Skype. With that, happy trading.